Hello and welcome to the Mindset Model Podcast. I'm Sarah Davis, your go-to confidence coach. This is the place where self-doubt gets kicked out, confidence gets turned up, and you get the tools to live the life you know you are meant for. In this podcast, we dive into real stories, mindset magic, we have guest experts, and the truth about what it really takes to live your best life. So grab your coffee, turn up the volume as we are raising our standards and stepping into the version of you who owns the room. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Mindset Model podcast and YouTube. I'm so excited to have you here today in this episode. Today we are talking all about negative self-talk. Oh, what a topic to dive into today. I'm going to be sharing in this episode what this negative self-talk is, where it comes from, why we have it, my experiences, and how I have overcome the negative self-talk. So it's going to be a jam-packed episode today. Now, I have just come back from the most amazing little holiday, a little trip with my husband, and this was just incredible. Like, the power of creating your dream life. Like, I am living proof that you can literally be, do, and have anything you want. Going into this year, one of my key focuses was to really regulate my nervous system, focus on my health, which is why I have done this sort of like amazing like health journey. And a part of that is, instead of going on massive, great big long trips, to really condense it down into smaller little trips, which are really focusing on doing the things that we love, that are relaxing and calming and resetting for the mind, body and soul. Because next year we are going somewhere very, very, very exciting. Haven't decided where, but we've got a few locations on the list. Like, just imagine the most epic adventure, other side of the world vibes. That's where we're going. Anyway, so on this little trip, we'll just start off with the trip because I'm sure you want to know what we did and what happened and all that good stuff. And then I'll actually go into the negative self-talk, which is why we're here today. So we went to Wales, mid-Wales, and the location was so remote, so off-grid, that it wasn't even on the sat-nav. Like, it was so off-grid that hadn't even been mapped. My type of place. So as we're driving in, now Wales has got the most beautiful countryside. I'm talking like rolling emerald hills. We've got beautiful nature everywhere. It's just stunning. So we're driving into this property. The actual driveway itself is like a mile long. Just covered in beautiful ferns and meadows. And then we got to the property. It's called the Shepherd's Rest. And it was this stunning, like, converted shepherd's house. Yeah, something like that. It had all of like the mod cons in there. So we had a beautiful log fire, like brand new kitchen. It was all open plan. We had a wood-fired hot tub outside, which I had never been in one of these before. They are incredible. Because it was wood fired, it smelt stunning, and it didn't, you know when you normally go in hot tubs, it's all like bubbly, really noisy. The bubbles are like splashing in your drink. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm all about this wood fired. It was a hot tub, but it didn't obviously like have the bubbles. It was just really calm. So we could still hear like the nature all in the background, all the birds. So yeah, it was a whole thing. There was hammocks there as well. So we're just in the hammocks. And what was amazing about this trip, apart from fucking everything, was the weather. Now, it was forecast to be absolutely pissing it down the whole time, which, you know, that's just what you get in the UK. You just got to go with it. So we've packed all of our Wellington boots, our raincoats, all of that stuff. We made a little joke as we were leaving the house, like, oh, we're not going to need the sun cream, are we? Well, fuck, we burnt. Yes, we burnt. I'm talking, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it got so hot. The sun was shining. We're literally, because we planned to just go on this really nice leisurely walk, have a little green tea, put the log fire on. Oh no. We were having full Ibiza vibes. We were in this hot tub. We were partying. We had the Prosecco, the wine was flowing, the sunshine was beaming down. But obviously we didn't pack sun cream, so we fucking burnt. So it was not ideal, but you know, I'm still, you know, slightly bronzed, so it's all good. And what was really incredible about this trip was it was just a chance to just reconnect with myself again, because when I take time out, this is when I get my most exciting ideas and topics for the podcast and all of this good stuff. So yeah, I've come back fully refreshed and ready for you, my loves, to bring you all of the good stuff, all of the fantastic mindset advice, which is going to help you to live your best life just like me. So that's my little trip. Let's dive into this episode. Ooh, let's go. So first of all, negative self-talk. This is when you have that voice in your head and it is really... it really brings you down. It is saying things to you like you're not good enough, you're not going to be able to do that. And it's a very like sarcastic, bit of a bitchy voice going on. Every single person has this voice, no matter who you are, whether you are just, you know, a normal person just like me, or you are an absolute, I don't know, entrepreneur, celebrity, whatever, whoever the hell you are, you will have this negative self-talk, this voice within your head. Now, what is this? This is, and I'm not going to go into like the full sciencey bits, but just to kind of make it as simple as possible, we have got a part of our unconscious mind, which you can call, say, the ego. I like to call it the human mind. There's other different names for it, more technical terms, but I'm just going to call it the human. And then we also have the higher self as well. So this is more of like an encouraging voice, but we're really going to focus on the human voice today, the ego. So this part of our unconscious mind, its main thing, its whole thing for existence is to keep us safe and alive and secure. That is its goal. Now, when we start to do things which are new, very different, that is when that part of our mind starts panicking, because new and different means danger, which is not true, but that's what it believes. So when you start doing things which are, maybe, for example, you've set yourself a goal this year of, I don't know, running a marathon, or you've set your goal of starting your business, or I don't know, making a podcast, whatever the hell it is, you've got this idea in your head, you get really, really excited. So you get this part of your mind, the talk in your mind, which is like, yes, this is going to be brilliant. And then you go off into your imagination, don't you? And you start picturing how fantastic it's going to be, how it's going to look, what people are going to say. And you're like, yeah. 10 minutes later, you get this other voice that pops up and it's like, well, that's a fucking stupid idea, isn't it? Or it will say something like, oh, I don't think that's going to work because of, and all these excuses start coming up. That is the human part of the mind, which is trying to keep you safe in your comfort zone. And it will do everything it can to keep you in your comfort zone. So it will come up with the most ridiculous excuses. You will listen to them. You will absolutely listen to them. And then before you know it, you've given up on that goal or hobby or whatever you wanted to do, just because of that human part of your mind. Now, you have the other part of your mind, which is you can call it your higher self, your intuition, whatever you want to call it. This is the part of you which is the truth, which knows you on a soul level and knows what you want and knows how to get you to where you want. It's a very neutral, calm voice, and it will just pop up and it will say, hey, let's do this, let's go here, let's email this person, let's speak to that person. That is your intuition, your higher self. That is the voice that we need to be listening to. Now, that is just a very basic description of what that negative self-talk is and why it comes up. So if you ever try something new, you want to start the business, like I say, or you want to start the podcast, or you want to do whatever the hell it is, it seems like the best idea, and then, like I said, 10 minutes later it's like the worst idea and you talk yourself out of it. And then it gets really bitchy at you as well, and it will start really putting you down, saying that you need to look a certain way, you need to have a certain qualification, you need to have this, you need to have that. It's all fucking lies. So I'm going to go into now how this has actually shown up for me in my life. So this negative self-talk, this feeling of, oh my God, I can't do this, comes up just before I'm about to do something incredible that I really want to do. So say, for example, before I started my podcast, I was like, I cannot wait to start a podcast. This is going to be amazing. This is something that I've always wanted to do. I love showing up on YouTube. I love showing up. It's like, it is just me. It is a bit of me. And then I started talking myself out of it. So this voice kept saying to me, oh, well, you're not going to be able to do it, are you? Because, you're really technically challenged. No one's going to want to listen to your podcast. And then it started going into saying, like, what will people think of you? Like, people are going to think you're an absolute idiot for starting a podcast. Who is it? And it just went on and on and on. Luckily, I've done the mindset work. So I was like, listen up, human. You can get back in your box because we're doing the thing. And then, of course, I started my podcast because here we are. And how many episodes are we in? I want to say it's like 70. Who even knows? But every single week when I post a podcast, I get so many wonderful, kind messages from people saying, your podcast has really helped me. It's changed my life. It's this, it's that. And I just think to myself, there was actually a time when I wasn't even going to start this podcast. And now look. So a couple of things, like one of the scariest things was actually starting my business, my brand, the mindset model. That was very scary because there was a lot of people judging, shall we say, like, oh, what is she doing now? This isn't going to work, is it? Bloody hell, look at her, who does she think she is? So I was getting that actual feedback and resistance from people, and also I had to deal with my own negative self-talk. I've never started a business before. I know nothing about business. Like, all of these things were coming up, but I still did it. And I am so fucking proud of myself for doing this and not listening to that negative self-talk. When I got interviewed by Kathleen Cameron, who is the world's #1 manifestation teacher, absolute queen. So, and I've, worked with her for a couple of years. And she was like, Sarah, I would love to interview you. How exciting, but also how terrifying at the same time. So to start off with, I was like, this is incredible. The #1 manifestation mentor wants to interview me live on her YouTube. This is everything. And then the negative self-talk came up and it was like, no. Because I'm literally coming out of my comfort zone into the stratosphere. Like, I'm out. And my ego was like, hell fucking no, bitch. You need to rein yourself in. So it was saying things to me like, you're not actually good enough to be interviewed by Kathleen Cameron. Nobody cares. What will people think of you? It was all coming up. But I still did it anyway. And it was the most incredible experience ever. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's like you can just see me coming alive in this interview. Oh, the energy, incredible. So with the way that I actually overcome negative self-talk, because this is the good bit. First of all, this is all about understanding the negative self-talk, where it comes from. So now you know from this episode that it is a part of the unconscious mind that's just trying to keep you safe, having that awareness and then questioning it. So say to yourself, is what I'm doing, this project or this whatever I'm doing, is it in alignment with what I would love to do? Would I love to do this? If the answer is yes, then do it. It is for you. If the answer is no, I'm only doing it to people please or because I think it looks good, then obviously you need to reassess what you're doing. But if it's something that genuinely lights you up and it maybe does help you grow, expand, be the best version of yourself, that's when you'll notice the negative self-talk. But question it. Really, really dive in there. Then once you've identified that it is literally just negative self-talk, this is something that you really want to do, then it's about taking action and changing the thoughts. And this does take practice, but this is an absolute game changer. So say, for example, when I was going to start my business, I had a thought of, but what if it doesn't work, or what if I get judged? What if people think I'm being stupid? And then I started questioning that and I was like, but is that the actual truth? Is that just something that I've made up? And even if, so what other people think? So what? And then I changed that thought from what if it doesn't work, to what if it does? What if this really does work? And I help millions of people to change their mindset to become the most confident version of themselves. Then I'm like, ooh, that sounds better. And I kept replaying that thought over and over again, changing the thoughts every single day. When it pops up, change it to what you want it to be. The next thing is when you start getting those negative words and negative language that keeps coming up, this is when you need to change your focus and your frequency. And there's loads of things that you can do. One thing which I love doing is I have a specific playlist which really helps me to get into a really good mood. So create yourself a playlist, give it an amazing name like your inspiration playlist or your manifestation playlist or your goals, whatever the hell it is. Give it a name and put songs in there that make you feel like an absolute queen or king or whatever, that make you feel so good, that make you get into that visual imagination space of visualizing the best case scenario. The next thing, which I've mentioned this a few times in my podcast episodes, when I get interviewed as well, I will always give this as a piece of advice, is the badass list. I love this. Now, this came from Jen Gottlieb. She wrote a book called Be Seen. Stunning, absolutely stunning book. She talked in her book about having like the negative self-talk and everything like that and how she overcame it. The badass list. So she wrote down 5 to 10 things which she has done over her life which make her feel like an absolute badass. This is evidence for your unconscious mind to say, well, actually, if you take a look at this on the list, we've absolutely smashed this before. So one of the things that I had on my list was walking for Gok Wan at one of his fashion shows. Like, yes, that makes me a badass. Also, winning a national modelling competition and going to Antigua to model for whoever it was. Yes, that makes me an absolute fucking badass. That is evidence that I have the confidence and the belief to literally be the best version of myself. So have a think. What have you done in your life that has proven that you are confident, that you are capable, that you are enough, that you are the fucking best. At least 5 to 10 things. Get them on your badass list. And then finally, one thing which is really, really tricky is either just, finding yourself distractions, as I said, or just surrendering. And what I mean by this is you get these thoughts that come up. Just don't give them any power or any energy. Don't feed into it. Just be like, oh, that's an interesting thought. It's a crock of shit. It's not true. And that's it. You don't have to believe, because our minds are controlling so much of our reality that we don't even realize and comprehend. But when you can get to yourself in a space where you are aware of this negative self-talk and you're okay with it, and you're like, do you know what? It is one of those things in life. I'm not going to listen, and I'm just going to get on with my life and go for what I absolutely love. So that is the end of this episode. You have got some homework to do, my loves. So really focus on that negative self-talk, as in, we do not need to listen to that voice. That bitchy, sarcastic voice can actually go in the bin, and we're just going to go for our goals, dreams and desires, because you are enough, you are worth it, and you deserve every single thing that you want in your life. So have the best day, and I will see you in my next episode.